Hey guys, today I figured I'd kind of go over another one of the common questions I see in this game, at least when I'm generally paying attention to chat. It is what you should wish for with the Dragon Balls, because there's actually quite a lot of them, and I figured some people would want to know what they do. So today I'll be kind of going over with everybody what each Dragon Ball wish does, and at the end of this, where you can get your hands on them. It's actually fairly simple, but there might be some people that don't know, so I just figured I'd help. So, the important part of today's video will be basically what do the Dragon Balls do, and generally what are the wishes that you can actually get from the Dragon Balls and absolutely get. So it's fairly simple. It won't be too much going over today, but it'll be a short, simple little video. Just something I can maybe help out with. So to start with the top, we have Dragon Soul Wish, which is, as you can see here, this is basically the most common wish I've seen a lot of people do, where you can do a wish and you'll be able to get some souls. Whenever you do this wish, you will get 3 choices of your soul for what you'll end up picking up, and it'll also tell you at the top what kind of soul you might get. That's fairly simple. Senzu Beans is another fairly simple wish where it just gives you 5 Senzu Beans. Cool. Easy. Wealth is, as it says here, is 300,000 Zenny and times 3 Zenny for 3 hours item. One fun tip about this is that if you actually use the booster for Shenron's treasure and then do this wish again after 8 hours, you'll actually triple the amount of Zenny that Shenron gives you. So if you're trying to make a lot of Zenny really quickly, it's best to just do this wish over and over again with the booster active. Power, as it says, is 5 levels and 3 times XP. Generally speaking, this is a wish, but it depends. There are certain uses for it, which I'll go over later. Luck, as it says here, is a charm consumable you can get that triples the legendary NPC drop chance for 2 hours. One thing that a lot of people don't seem to realize is that this, you have to remember, this is not additive, this is multiplicative. So if an item has a 0.1% drop rate, it is now a 0.3%. Don't let the math fool you. It is not as good as you might think. Fresh Drip is exclusively, as it says, it is 3 drip. You'll get 3 items from Shenron, which are 3 drip items. There's a whole list you can find. It's just a whole bunch of different clothing, and there's also a very rare chance you can actually get Shenron's aura, which is pretty cool looking. Game Pass is 130 GP. It's simple. Enchantment Fragments is you get 2 epic fragments and then 1 rare plus fragment. It's very useful for later game. Wisdom is, it says here, is it's 3 times mastery for 2 hours. It basically means you get your stuff faster. And Shenron's Awakening is plus 50 stats for 2 hours. So in terms of usefulness for what most people would want to wish for, what I would say, in top down, Dragon Soul Wish, very useful. I would highly recommend you do this until you get a Zenkai Soul at the very least, because these souls will pretty much carry you. It doesn't really matter which one you get, but if you can get a Zenkai Soul, I would highly recommend it. Senzu Bean Wish, I really wouldn't recommend it. There's a lot of different ways to get Senzu Beans. This is kind of a waste of a wish. Wealth, I would definitely recommend you do if you were still trying to get moves. If you have all of the moves that you want, then you really don't need to do this anymore. Power Wish is something I would never recommend to somebody unless you are at the end game. If you have every enchantment fragment you would want, you have a good soul, you have everything, and you have nothing else you want to wish for, then do wish for power. Luck, I would only recommend if there's a very specific drop item you're farming for and you want as much chance to get it as possible. This is the only time I'd recommend going wishing for luck. Fresh Drip is kind of in the same regard as power, where I would only recommend you do this wish once you've gotten everything else that you would need. This is just one of those I have nothing else to wish for wishes. I wouldn't recommend doing it unless you have nothing really else you want to go for. Or if you really want some items, I suppose. Game Pass Wish, I would never recommend this. Ever. It would take like 4 to 5 wishes from this particular wish to get one of the cheapest items you can get in the shop. Never recommend this. Ever. There's so many more beneficial wishes. The Enchantment Fragment Wish is one that I would highly recommend. Entirely highly recommend. This is probably the second wish I would recommend the most. Second only to the Dragon Soul Wish, where once you get a Zenkai Soul, I would highly recommend you just do this wish over and over and over again until you get a bunch of Saiyan Drip Fragments. which if you want to know what that is and what they do, I would recommend go watching my other video. I have a whole video about enchantment fragments. Wisdom Wish, I really wouldn't recommend too much with this one. It's not really too helpful, but I would say the only time I'd ever recommend this wish is if you're going for a grade 8 mastery, because this would help a lot with that. But that's the only real use I would have for this wish. And the stats wish is kind of in the same regard as Fresh Drip and Power, or really only do this wish if you have nothing else to really go for, and you really don't have anything else you're really into. It's kind of the only time I would ever wish for this. So at the end of the day, those are my recommendations for wishes. And generally speaking, that's what I would recommend any player would go to, for depending on where they are. Now, for how you get the Dragon Balls, is there's the most common one, which is it'll come down from the sky in a lightning strike. That is the most common, it is the most well-known way of getting a Dragon Ball. You can either go to it, or if somebody fly to it yourself, or if you have the instant transmission game pass, you can just teleport to somebody. Whoever finds it, you just teleport them and then pick it up that way. Another way of getting Dragon Balls is through the daily bounty hunt quest, which is right here. That if you complete that quest, I believe it is over a certain power you can dig in. You'll be able to do a quest where it's going to have you go fight somebody to get 2 Dragon Balls. That right there is the lightning one I was just talking about. It's very conveniently timed. Another way that this lightning strike will happen is when the game, every time the game reaches a new 1,000 like threshold, another Dragon Ball will spawn. It's fairly simple. And the other way to get Dragon Balls is that if you go to the raid shop, if you do a bunch of raids, you'll be able to buy a Dragon Ball. So that's the main way you get all the Dragon Balls in this game. And it is definitely... The Dragon Balls is a very important thing to do. And also, it'll help you get a lot of things. Dragon Ball, the wishes also for the Dragon Balls normally have an 8-hour cooldown, but sometimes they do like times 2 weeks like this, where you could get higher chance of specific wish cooldown, which would be pretty handy. And then the other... See, you could teleport to somebody like that. Here, I'll show you. If he's still there. So you could just fast travel to somebody to see where they are, and it'll let you get your hands on a Dragon Ball or wherever it is. You don't know where the person has it, because a lot of people in this game, once they pick up the Dragon Ball, they just quickly fly away. So you could use the fast travel to just grab it like that. It's handy. Anyway. And that's basically it. It's just a quick little video I wanted to do to kind of show you guys the wishes, because I've seen a few comments, or not really comments, I've seen a few people talk in the chat about what to wish for, and I just wanted to help out everybody the best that I could. So it's a fairly short video today, but that's really all I wanted to do. So thank you guys for watching, and if you have any other questions, comment down below and I'll do my best to answer them for you. So thank you.